everybody. Hi, Zen. Hi, Corpsby. Hi, Ash was laughing at me because I just forgot to record that. Good to see everybody. Welcome in. Look at our depressing background. It looks so sad. Hello. Let's go ahead. I think Cass is muted right now, but that's okay. Ash and I will start. Ash, are you ready? Woo! Okay, everyone can hear you. You're part of the world.
Hello.
Hello. Ash, tell the people something inspirational for this Saturday.
Oh,
Lay it on them. Give them your wisdom.
It's a lot of pressure, Kylie. Hold on. Oh, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. There you go.
Wow.
Got it. There it is.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's like a sports movie.
Yeah. By Michael Scott.
By Michael Scott.
But you don't watch The Office, so
I don't.
You can't
I know who this man is.
Okay.
I know who this man is in The Beans Man.
The Beans Man.
Yeah, The Beans Man. And the guy who wears the guy's face on his face.
Yeah, he has a name. It's Kevin.
Okay, so sorry. Cass's headphones died. I did not see her muted when I undid this. So we're gonna stall.
I was wondering okay. I was like, oh, she's not back. I miss her.
Should we? Let's do a long intro then. So hi, welcome in. My name is Kiele, Lemonzest, and welcome to On the Same Page, Nicholas Cage. On the Same Page of Friends podcast for a book club. Whoop whoop. Today we are going to be going over Again and Again by Johnathan Evison, which is July's book. We're a little late. That's okay. Y'all will be okay. But yeah, let's do intros. I'll go first, then Ashley, and our starter question is, one unhinged story from work from this week. I feel like that will be a good staller.
Okay, I gotta.
Okay, you think. I have a couple. I'll have a couple.
Okay.
Okay, so hi, my name is Kiele, Lemon Zest, Stress Lemon Zest, LZ, Zesty. I think that's all my names. Kyle. This is my stream. Hello, welcome in. If you don't know me, welcome in. It's good to see you. We do also do a variety of games here, but once a month we do book club. We announce the book club books 3 months in advance. If you click on that link, it will show you our our August and September books. Our August book is On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, and our September book is called Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doyer. So if any of those sound like your jam, do it. Kielevator, perfect. K-Dog, perfect. That's my new nickname. Everyone has to call me K-Dog now. You're not going to call me K-Dog, Ashley?
No, I call you Kyle.
Wow. We got to get this
ball rolling. I can't claim that nickname. My name for you is Kyle.
All right, fine. I have to live my K-Dog dream somewhere else.
That. Who said that? Gorpsby can call you K-Dog. Jack can call you K-Dog. I'm just going to call you Kylie. Wow. Or Kyle. I mean, Kyle.
Wow. My full government name. Kyle. Jesus.
Kyle.
Fine. My pronouns are she, they. And my unhinged story from work. Which one should I do? For those who don't know, I'm a music therapist. I work in inpatient psych, and I contract both. Have wild stories. The inpatient psych more so. This week on what happened at the hospital, we had a patient who we called a code green on. I was not here for this. To stress, this was right. This was after hours, so 6 o'clock after I left. But we had a patient this week who tried to escape by grabbing staff badge, and then security was called, and they were like, "Please don't do that, sir." And he tried to grab their tasers and tase everybody. And then he locked himself in his. He didn't lock himself in his room. You can't lock themselves in the room. But he like held the door, and they were like, "Back away from the door so we can open it." And he like ran to his room, held the door, and proceeded to pee on the floor and tried to splash pee at everybody. So, there's my first fun story. How did we like it? 10 out of 10?
That was good. That was crazy.
We've all been there. To be fair, it's not a gun. Not a gun. Taser. They don't carry guns in the hospital. Thank God. Jesus. Can you imagine? Oof. Let's see. And then my next one. Oh, which one should I? I'll do one from last Friday. We had a code. I get it, Zed. I understand the humor. I'm just saying. For the record, we don't have guns in the hospital. I just think that's important that people know that. But my other story is on Friday. This one's not so fun. Not so fun. But it was wild. So I think it categorizes in this category. So there's a code on one of the floors. I'm running down. I will demand a refund. Wow, my piss story was that good. Thank you, Gorsby. I appreciate that. So we called a code. And it was on the 3rd floor of where I work, and I was on the 4th floor. So I ran down the stairs because this particular patient, she was super manic, which means she was like all over the place. And so the fact that I was like, oh, they called a code on her, that's not good. And so I ran downstairs, and I just hear like such screaming. I'm not going to repeat a lot of what she said because a lot of it would be extremely triggering to people. So I'm not going to do that. Just imagine very like vulgar, disorganized things regarding like very harsh themes like murder and sexual assault and things like that. Okay, so she's screaming all of that at us. All right, and she starts screaming. They're like, okay, they've been like apparently trying to de-escalate her for like 30 minutes, and she starts screaming and screaming, and they're like, we've got to look, if you're gonna keep screaming, like you're gonna have to go into seclusion, and you're either gonna walk there or you're gonna or we're gonna have to take you, like we're gonna have to pick you up, and not pick you up, but escort you basically. And she was like, I'm not going anywhere. And we're like, all right. And they're like, and you're not willing to take your meds? Okay. And so they went and tried to take her into the seclusion room, and then she she threw herself on the floor and was like, get away from me, and started screaming more profanities and things at us, and being like, you're a fucking cunt, you're a cunt, cocksucker, cunt. And I was like, fuck, we're all cunts today, Jesus. So then we go get the restraint chair because she's trying to bang her head against the fucking concrete floor. And I was like, no. So we go grab the restraint chair, and or my coworker went to grab the restraint chair. I'm back up for my boss, who is there at the moment, because she is like trying to swing at people at this point. And so she's trying to swing people, and we're like, no. So we were like, we don't want to put you in the restraint chair, because then she's like, don't put me in the chair. That's where you're gonna lethally inject me with stuff and kill me. And we're like, we're not gonna kill you. That's definitely not the way we're trying to do things. We would love for you to just take your meds orally. We don't want to give you any injection whatsoever. And she's under a court hold, so basically, like, she has to take meds per court. Like, if we tell her she has to take meds, she has to take meds, because she's a dangerous person. And so we're like, okay, well, you have those options, and your options are running out to the point where we're going to have to put you in the chair. And how we would have to put her in the chair is we'd have to put her on a restraint board, because she's on the floor. So we'd have to put her on the restraint board, put her on the board, lift the board up, then transfer the board to the chair, which is a lot of work. It's so much work. And so we were like, please just go in the room in not so many words. And everyone's mom voices started coming out. We're like, listen, go in the room right now or you're going in the chair. That's your option. She's like like shrill shriek screaming. Ah! And we're like, if you start screaming again, we are going to put you in the chair. And she's like, I'm going. So then she gets up, goes in the room. And we're like, okay, where do you want your shot? We have to give you a shot. She's like, so you can kill me? We're like, no, we're not. No, absolutely not. Actually, we're trying to help you not kill yourself on this floor that you're trying to bang your head on. And so she sits on the bed and she takes the meds. And she got like so many meds in her. Like it was like 40 milligrams of like sedatives. Like it was intense because she needed it. And so she's like screaming and they like go in the room to like close the blinds because where this seclusion room is, unfortunately, the people who made this for the hospital are fucking stupid. They killed her. No, send please. The people who made the seclusion room are just stupid because they put the seclusion room with the windows facing out to where people like in the parking lot and people in the other building next door can see in. For some fucking reason, it's the stupidest shit. It's the stupidest shit. I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? So anyway, so we close the blinds and they're like, oh, you're gonna close the blinds because this is where I'm gonna hang myself and die. And we're like, no, you're not. Actually, there's nothing to hang yourself from. So that's a negative, Ghost Rider. And we're like, no, you're gonna sit on this bed and we're gonna leave the room and you're not gonna hit us and we're gonna leave. And she's like, okay. And then, oh God, this was horrible. I was like right front row seat. I'm surprised I don't have blood on me. She went, so we go, like everyone's exiting the room. It's pretty small, so like we all have to exit like single file basically. And as the last person goes to leave the room, she goes and grabs the door. And the way that this door works is it locks once it's closed, like it's suction locked, right? It's important. So she grabs the door from the frame, not the door handle, but the frame of the door. And the security person, or no, it was either the security person or the nurse, I can't remember who was on the door, was like, take your hands off the door. We're not going to close it until your hands are off the door. And she goes, I'm closing the door, and yanks the door and closes her fingers on the fucking door. And there's blood that splattered everywhere. Like because of course it did. She thankfully did not fracture her fingers, but she did take skin off her fucking fingers. Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh.
It was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it's like heavy duty door. So.
Oh my gosh.
So then we're like, fuck! Now we have to go back in the fucking room because from an infection standpoint and also for her standpoint, we have to bandage her hand. But we have to bandage it a certain way because we can't put bandages on it because she's in the seclusion room. In the seclusion room, you can't have like socks or anything because people will try to like eat their socks and shit. So we're like, fuck. We're like, okay, we're gonna have to come in again because we're gonna have to bandage your hand. And this was like 40 minutes, by the way. It was so long. And she's like, I'm fine. As she's smearing blood all over the walls, all over the door. And we're like, can you not do that? Stop. She's like, I'm fine. Look, I'm good, bro. I'm good, you fucking cunt. And we're like, you're obviously not. And then she licks her blood off of the door.
Ugh.
We're like, girl, please stop. Wow. She sounds metal as fuck. She is metal as fuck. I want to say, I really like this patient. She's so funny and so fun. She's just had a bad moment. So, and she, again, was in a mental health crisis, obviously. So she's licking the blood off the fucking door, and we're like, stop. So, okay, so then, now I have to get full PPP on, because I have to clean this blood off of this door and fucking room. And we're like, okay, we have to come back in the room. Please don't hit us. Do not hit us. Sit on the bed still while we clean the room. And thankfully, she finally sat still because I guess the meds kicked in. And she sat still, and we cleaned all the blood off of her and cleaned all the blood off of the door and stuff. And we were able to close the doors. And that was that.
Wow. Wow.
That's my work story.
I probably should have gone first.
That was Friday.
Oh my god.
All right, Ashley, you're up next for intros.
Hello. I'm Ashley, also known as Ash, in the duo for Assing Cash. Or Trashly.
Mm-hmm.
In the chat, M Goose. I go by she, her. So, okay. These stories are not as exciting or crazy because I work with children with autism, like young little kids. So these are kind of cute. We'll do a little palate cleanser.
Perfect.
But this one, it just makes me laugh every time. But I was doing an assessment with this little boy and his RBT, and I give the RBT some cards, and it's like pictures of random stuff, like a rake, a tree, chair, whatever, and it's like an array of like 10 or 15. And I was telling his RBT is named Rick. I'm like, hey Rick, like you know, pick a random picture and have him, and then you ask him like, hey, can you find this? Can you find that? And then I'll just kind of watch and score him. And he was like, okay, yeah. So he's like, okay, friend, find the rake. And he goes, Rick? He goes, no, the rake. And he's like, Rick. And he starts pointing at him. And he's like, no, not me. Find the rake. And he goes, Rick. And then gives him a big hug. And we're just both dying laughing. I'm like, oh. He's like, okay, buddy. All right, good job.
That's so cute.
Like, yeah. And then there's recently, we also had code greens, but of course, these are children and they're not as intense. But for children, it's like they still will do self-injury things like run into the wall or like bang their head on the table. Like similar things, but when they're children, it's a little bit more manageable. So I'm helping a new RBT with another kiddo, and she's been tantruming. She's throwing herself on the wall. We're blocking her. I'm kind of explaining to her like she's doing this for attention. I know it's hard, but like don't look at her. Like when she calms down, we can talk to her. All this stuff. So this goes on for about like 35 to 40 minutes. We're just screaming, all the things, and she finally calms down. And we have this wagon, and it's like a train. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a train. And so she gets in the train, and we're riding around, and I'm walking with her. I'm like, I'm gonna stick around with y'all just in case, she starts up again, and she starts screaming. She's like, and the RBT that was pulling the wagon, I was like, stop the wagon. And I get down, I'm like, are we calm right now? And she goes, no. I'm like, okay, do we need to get out of the wagon? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, then let's try to be calm. And she goes, I'm calm. I'm like, okay, good. And so then we ride down, and there's a BCBA, and she's like waving to all the kids in the wagon, and she gets to her, and she's like, oh, you look sad. And she goes, I am calm. She's like, oh, okay. We're like, yeah, she's being calm right now. But she's just screaming at her, being like, I am calm. We're like, yes, good job being calm.
Good job being calm.
She's so funny.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of stuff like that.
Hey,
yeah.
my lady said she was good too.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's like, yeah. Those are, yeah.
Nice.
Or, yeah. It's a hoot. I will say, like, I feel like I'll tell a story that's a little gross. This is from when I was in RBT, like, when I first started. and this kid was like, I'm trying to change him, but he's too big to be on like a changing table, so I'm trying to change like he did number 2, by the way. So I'm like trying to wipe him, but he's trying to dig into his pamper, and I'm like, no, no. And so then I call for help. And the trainer at the time comes in, and I'm like, hey, just can you hold his hands and I'm gonna clean him just so he's not like touching his poop and like smearing it everywhere. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And so I'm wiping him, and at the same time he like tries to wiggle out of the trainer's arms,
Oh.
and my hand slips and I smear poop on his arm. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And this is like my second week working there. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's fine. It happens. I'm like, does it? Does it happen?
Yuck, dude.
It is not good. Oh, recently, actually, another gross one.
Another
So
gross one.
a kid, he was gagging himself.
Oh.
Yeah, it happens a lot more than you think. I don't know if it's a sensory thing with our kiddos, but this isn't abnormal. So he's putting his fingers in his mouth. He makes himself throw up. And
Oh.
so he's got throw up on his hands all over himself, but he's also very like skittish. He's afraid of like everything. And so I'm trying to take him to the bathroom, but he wants to hold on to me as we're walking, and he was like not coming with me. He's like, ah! And so I'm like, okay. And I just roll up my sleeves and I'm like, let's go. And he's just throw up hands
Oh.
on my arm. And I'm like,
Oh.
all right, this is, here we go. Yeah. The
Wow.
RBT's trying not to throw up. I'm like, it's at this point, like, I don't know what else to do. So he's also
Gross.
afraid of the bathroom too. So I was like, here we go. Just please try not to grab onto any other part of me.
No, no, no. That sounds awful, dude. Literally awful. Gross. Blah, blah,
There's
blah, blah.
there's another little girl where she'll get so worked up, like she gets like phlegm. She'll kind of like gurgle it, and she'll do it so much she'll like
Ugh.
it'll like gag her, and she'll throw up just like the biggest little like mucus ball.
Ugh.
And so we have to, whenever she starts like getting escalated, we have to carry a trash can and be like, in here,
Oh my god.
because she's like
You know what I'm wondering?
thrown up on other people.
I'm wondering if like that gagging is to stimulate their vagus nerve.
I think so. Like there are some kids that it's just like, or they like the sensation of like they're playing with their tongue or something, and then they make themselves throw up.
Oh
Like
yeah, I'm. Oh,
there's also, yeah, I don't know, but there's
interesting.
I also had a kid where he would make himself throw up on purpose. Like
Ugh.
he would, if he was upset or didn't want to go somewhere or didn't want to do work, he would cry and then be like, bleh,
Oh,
bleh,
you know
and I would
what?
be,
That's like my sister. She would purposefully make herself poop on herself.
oh,
She would
oof,
poop on herself to not go to bed. She hated going to bed, and she would poop on herself.
wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Cass, are you back, my friend?
I am back.
Welcome back.
Yay! Woo!
Our
Woo!
technical difficulties.
Star of the show has finally arrived. Thank God. I don't know if Ashley and I could.
I know we were drowning there for a second.
Floundering. We're doing intros, Cass. We saved you for
Okay.
last. If you would like to go.
Wow. I think I need no introduction. But okay. I'm Cass, or Cassidy. I don't know what my chat Cassidia. That's what it is. My given name.
My given name.
I use she, her. Yeah.
Beautiful.
What?
Do you have any fun work stories?
Yeah,
Fun work stories.
Those are interesting.
See, I popped in the middle of this, and I feel like when you like walk in on a conversation and you don't want to like interrupt people, so you just kind of stand there in the doorway until they're like, "Oh, hello." So I just been just been standing in the doorway. So okay, fun work stories. So I work two part-time jobs. One, I work with adults with intellectual disabilities, and the other one, I teach children music lessons. So my favorite stories from this week, from the place I work for adults with intellectual disabilities, we had there's these two. They're most of them are younger. I don't know. There's a wide range of ages, but these two are younger adults. They're in their 20s, and one of them's new to this place, and he like immediately you could tell had this massive crush on this other girl there, and we were like, we clocked that real quick, and we're like, we're gonna keep our eyes on this, because you do what you want, but right now we are in a professional work setting, no flirting at work. Um, and anyway, so that has sort of fizzled down a lot, but the other day he shouted across the room. He was trying to get her attention. He goes, "Hey, I love you." And she goes, "Yeah, I heard you." And we're like, "Damn, sorry, bro. Ooh,
Wow.
dang, that's gotta hurt."
That's the energy I want.
savage.
So
Yeah,
Right.
I heard you. We were like, "God,
Oof.
ain't no coming back from that, dude."
No.
Sorry. So move on. Time to move on. And then teaching children piano lessons. This one was actually a ukulele group. They're two little twin girls, and they're so chaotic. And one of them, so they do their little ukulele class, and then they immediately go to a piano class, and I teach both of them. And so in the transition, we're walking through the hallway, and as she gets to going into the piano room, she stops and looks. She's like 8 maybe, and she stops and looks up at me and goes, "If you die, I would miss you."
Oh.
Or she said, no, it wasn't even miss. She said, "I'd remember you." She'd go, "If you died, I'd remember you." And I was like, "Thanks." Okay, anyway. How have you been?
Wow, what a conversation starter.
I
Right?
know.
I'm gonna start using that.
I was like, and it was like she'd been thinking about it, that she was just like, "I'd remember if you die."
Ooh.
Thanks, lady. Thanks,
Thank
small child. It means a lot. I'll remember you too if you die.
Maybe she just watched Coco.
Oh.
It's like, don't worry, you won't wither away. I'll remember you.
Yes, they are twins. And yeah, there's they're probably plotting something I don't know about.
Suspicious. Okay, well, should we get into the book? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is the non-spoiler section. This was July's book, which was Cassie's pick. I merged your nicknames in a weird way. This was Cassidy's pick. Oh my god. Which is again and again by Johnathan Evison. And I'm gonna read a little synopsis because I always forget. I'm gonna read a synopsis for our non-spoiler section. And we'll talk about it. We'll do overall thoughts, weight of the content of the book, writing style, and our 5-star reviews, and would we recommend it? Let me read this. For 1,000 years, Eugene Miles has been searching desperately for a long-lost love of his life, whom he last saw in medieval Spain. His new caregiver, Angel, a young man on his own journey, is understandably skeptical. Who is Eugene Miles? A lonely man clinging to his delusions, or a legitimate anomaly, a 1,000-year-old man on an unending quest to find love? As Angel comes to learn the truth about Eugene, so too does the reader, and as his miraculous story comes to a head, so does the brightest truth of all, that love, timeless, often elusive, is sometimes right in front of us. So, this is the non-spoiler section. Um, if you at the end of this you want to read that book, if you're like, wow, that sounds great, um, skedaddle out when we go to the spoiler section because I'll tell you, it's pretty good. Or for real.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone want to go first? All right, I guess that's me then. All right, so firstly, my overall thoughts. So first, I did not think I was gonna like this book. Was not a big fan. I'm gonna say that. I was like, I don't know. I think it was the writing style I wasn't like a fan of. For me, it was a little flowery with like certain things that I figured would not be flowery. Um, I think it was just his style of writing. I'm not super huge on, but I got used to it, which was it very easily, like within like a couple chapters. So that was good. Because sometimes it's hard to get over that. I'm like, ugh. I had said this in one of my other friends' discords, but this book touched on a lot of themes that Flowers for Algernon did, and I think this book does it better. I think this book does touch on like what is humanity and what is love, and when you're finding yourself, like what does that mean? And it touches on a lot of those themes in a more tactful way. Um, and I don't want to say too much because I feel like I would give the book away, but I feel like it does. It does, which I think maybe that was just on my brain because I just finished Flowers for Algernon for another book club. But I honestly, it was like such a cool comparison because I was like, oh, I like this so much better. It's such a nicer time, and there's not weird sex stuff in it, so that's good. So that was nice. But yeah, I ended up really enjoying this book. I did kind of call like the reveal pretty early on, but I think that's I'll 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 save that. I'll save that for myself. I don't want to say that. But I really liked it and I really enjoyed myself. I finished it pretty quickly, like probably within a week. While I was reading other stuff, so it was pretty easy read once I got over the initial like um, writing style. So for weight of the book, I would say writing style for me was not heavy, but just a little annoying to read. So I'd maybe give it like 2 weights because I think there's a lot of descriptions of stuff and a lot of fluff. So I'd say 2 weights, and then for content of the book, I'd say like 2 as well. I think 2 or 3, 2.5, 2.5. They do. They write books with no weird sex stuff. Isn't that crazy? Actually, there was weird sex stuff, just not a lot of it. We'll get into that. But yeah, I would say 2.5 to 3 weights for content. Because I feel like it hits a lot of like heavy themes, but in a lighthearted way. There's a lot of like comedy and yeah, I like that a lot, and a lot of like introspectiveness. And then as far as my overall rating, I'm gonna give it 5 stars because I had a good time. It was great. It was fantastic.
5 stars.
5 stars. It was good. I really liked it. It was also such a nice palate cleanser from Flowers for Algernon. So it was really, really nice. Yeah, I just find the characters were really endearing, and for the most part, um, most pretty much all the characters were so endearing and very like grayscale characters, which I love. Yeah. And would I recommend this book? Yes, I would recommend this book. Um, but my caveat to recommending the book is make sure you're just in like a pretty good headspace to read it. I feel like this book was lighthearted enough, but I would also say that this book still touches on some like heavy themes. And so make sure you're just in a good space to read it. So there we go.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I can go next. I agree with the weight. I think it had a good amount of like relief. Like you'll kind of have a heavy moment and then it's like oh, okay, and now it's Angel again. Okay. It's kind of like, okay, like, I think it gave a good amount of, like, I don't want to say, like, comedic relief, but it's, like, some sort of relief. So it was, like, I don't know. I agree. It's, like, it touched on a lot of heavy subjects, but then it also, like, put it in a very lighthearted way, or it gave you kind of, like, okay, here's the heavy, and now we're going to take you out of it. And it's like, okay, thank you. What was I going to say? We did the wait, and then um I listened to this book, so I think I probably would have a different opinion if I read it. But I thought I really enjoyed the writing. Especially like at the beginning, I think it was a little flowery. But as like I listened on, I caught on to his style, and I was like, oh, this is very nice. I also rated this 5 stars.
Woo!
I really enjoyed this book a lot. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed also the pacing. I thought the pacing was really nice. Like I was still
Ooh, I agree with that.
very engaged the whole time, but it didn't like give away anything too quickly. Um, so yeah.
Beautiful. Would you recommend this book?
Nice, nice.
Oh yes, 100%. Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Pass.
I liked it. I always forget the questions we're supposed to answer in this part. Um, Overall, my headphones are being weird, sorry. Okay.
You're good.
Okay, so the writing style. I was like anticipating like a man called Ove kind of writing style because he's this grumpy old man, and I thought it was going to be kind of like whimsical, charming, and it wasn't. And I think that like I was thrown for a second because I'm like, yeah, this is how grumpy old men stories are written. But he really wasn't that grumpy most of the time. Uh, but I liked it. What are the other questions? What are we
Weight of the content
wait
and writing style. Weight of the book.
writing style? Wait, I'd say like overall maybe like 2, and in parts, in terms of like context, in parts it's 3. Like there's like one section of the book that is like particularly, they're like, actually, this is the real story of the book, and it's quite weighty. And then the rest of it is pretty normal. And then weight in terms of like reading style and stuff is like 1 or 2. I think it was pretty easy to follow. And I would give it like 4 stars overall. I thought it was a really neat concept for a story, and I liked the way it was told and structured. I don't know, there was just something missing. There was just 1 star missing. That it didn't quite get the 5 stars. And I couldn't put my finger on it, but it's there. But yeah, I would recommend it.
Cool. Sorry, my mic was also being freaking jerk. my mic is it's literally it's pissing me off because my little guy keeps popping, pop, like constantly. Because I have a fan on me because it's fucking 88 degrees for no reason. Anyway, 88 degrees with 80% humidity. Anyway, and I just hate it. Anyway, not important. Not important. Okay. Any other overarching things you'd like to say about this book before we go into the spoiler section?
Nope.
All pretty high. So if you have not read this book and you're like, wow, I actually would really enjoy this book. This sounds like right up my alley. Um, yeah, I would say go read it. We rated it relatively high, 2 5-star and 1 4-star reviews. That means it's pretty daggum good. And we don't give 5 stars to just anything, guys. So, so you know, we don't we you know, we're careful about how we give out our 5-star ratings. So if that's your jam, go read the book. We're gonna start the spoiler section right now in 3, 2, get out of here if you want to read it. 1, goodbye, and we're in the spoiler section. Welcome in. I'm passing it off to Cass because this was her book. She's in charge. Steam conductor Cass.
Hey yo. Alrighty. I want to start off with the main question.
Mhm.
Do you believe that Eugene actually lived past lives or no? And if you don't, when did you start to doubt him? And if you do, why?
A
Go.
three-parter. Three-parter. I like it.
I would say.
Oh,
Sorry, you go. Kylie.
no, you started.
No. Oh my gosh. I would say, I believed him up until Angel talked to, oh gosh, I can't remember his name.
The
Oh,
psychologist guy. I can't
yes.
remember it either.
And he was like, oh gosh, I can't remember because he said all the Lloyd. It wasn't Lloyd, but he'd always be like, oh, freaking whatever. Um, but when he was like, you know, and he's like, that picture, that's my grandmother, and he was like, kind of like, oh, this isn't what you think, and all this stuff. And I'm like, so he's a liar. And so I was like, okay, like, but maybe they're past lives. And then when you learn more about his childhood and his abuse, I'm kind of like, so maybe these were because we were abused and neglected, we fabricated a lot of stuff to kind of not go crazy. So that's when I started to be like, okay, I don't think he had past lives.
Mm.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to do trigger warnings for this book.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
gotta be trigger warnings. I'm so sorry. That's my bad. Trigger warning: family trauma. I would also say sex. Childhood abuse.
Yes.
Childhood abuse.
Yes.
And is that all? Death. Death. I would also say grief. Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
That feels solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
That we're gonna be talking about that. So if that's not your jam this afternoon, please, please, please do not be here. We totally understand. Please take care of yourselves. So sorry to interrupt. That was my bad. I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah. Oh, and then also when we learned that his psychiatrist at the hospital was fake, that the guy who was doing the study on him and was trying to validate his past lives wasn't real. And other people around him were just kind of like, oh,
Yeah, buddy.
there.
You're a psychologist. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Or it's like, yep. Yeah. Oh, dang, he really does just hover around, doesn't he? It's like, oh, okay, so he's just extremely mentally ill.
Mm.
And I think too, like when you learn more about people where he actually, um, that he actually engages with, they kind of resemble. It's like he almost associates them with people that he fabricated, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, like, oh, a woman who's talking to me and is like not a, whatever, she must be this person from my past life, or like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think that's the only person he tries to find, but it's like, or he kind of I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I feel like he was kind of connecting Oscar and Angel a little bit towards the end. Like the way he talked about Oscar is kind of how he started talking about Angel towards the end of the book. And so I wonder if he was kind of like, okay, they're my, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. Did I answer all those questions? I think I did.
I think so. Yeah,
But yeah, I
that
don't think he
you're
lived past
dubious. Yeah, and doubted him at the part where everything starts. It was falling
Mm-hmm.
apart.
Mm-hmm.
It was like at the end of some chapter when he was like, and it all started to unravel, and I was like, Eugene.
Eugene.
But yeah, the made up psychologist definitely
Yeah.
um brings it home.
Mm-hmm.
But even see, I thought that at that point, um, I mean, like, cause I was skeptical, but uh, but also like open to either answer, whether it's past lives or not. My little brother also, as a child, talked about past lives, and it's a thing that people do. Um, Particularly in young children, though, they'll tell stories of past lives, and sometimes it's pretty accurate. So I'm like, I don't know, who's to say? Uh, uh, but then, right, crazy. He lived such a horrible past life, apparently. The things he told us. But then it kind of like fades away when they start school and their mind is preoccupied with other stuff. So maybe it's an active imagination, or maybe it's the fact that the brain has capacity to understand that stuff before it's busy with other stuff. Who's to say? Nobody knows. Uh, but I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe he just like never grew out of it. And when he tells those stories as a kid, like, I mean, you start to learn from his backstories, his flashbacks that he tells, that it's like, oh, maybe it became an attention seeking thing, but I don't think it started as that. Like, he just told these stories and then it gained him attention, so it like reaffirmed him and he kept doing it. Uh, but I was like, I don't know, maybe this kid telling his past life and it just he never grew out of it. Uh, but then he starts to be like, oh, and Angel's gonna find out the truth now and everything's falling apart. Um, and then when you learn everything about him staying in the like the psych ward and his psychologist that wasn't a psychologist, and then like all the things that happened and his childhood trauma and the stories that he would tell um when he was locked in a cellar basement,
Mm-hmm.
um that you're like, oh, okay, so these were stories of comfort that he told himself. But then, so I thought that he would like, I thought it would stop. I thought that he'd be like, yep, I've been found out. These are just stories. But then he kept going. Like the book still ends with him being like, and still nobody believes me that I actually lived these lives, but at least I know it. So that was interesting. Um, and I don't know if that was meant to be like, that's just how ingrained in it is for him, um, or if this man really lived past lives and is like, nobody fucking believes me. So I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence with it. I think he told stories for a purpose, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, who's to say? Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
I do not believe that he had past lives, and I actually called this pretty early on because I'm a big fat doubter because of the work I do. I work in inpatient psych. As soon as someone's like, "Hey, I lived a past life," I go, "Oh, really? That's so interesting. Tell me about it." And usually, it is fucking detailed. Um, I think it's dramatized for the book purpose of how detailed it is. But it's usually really detailed. I mean, I had someone tell me a 15-minute long story about how he used to be the governor of Texas and was best friends with Elon Musk, and they used to go on a boat together and they were going to kill all the people in Texas. and it was like really detailed, and I was like, wow, well, let's not do that. We don't want to hurt people. That's bad. But anyway, um, but I would say what solidified this for me, because I still like held out a little bit, because I was like, well, it is a book, so maybe. But then as soon it was like one line, like early on, where Lloyd was like, hey, well, not too bad for a 90-something-year-old man. And he's like, I told you I'm this old. I was like, oh, you're delusional. 100%. As soon as there was that discrepancy, I was like, oh, so you're an unreliable narrator, which I love. I love unreliable narrators. It's one of my favorite things. I was like, okay, so you're an unreliable narrator, and this is delusional. This is 100% like delusional. And then when we started getting in his past, it was like, I first of all, I really liked the reveal of that. I thought that was so smart of how the pacing was for that, because it wasn't too rushed. I feel like sometimes authors get really like they try to rush into it, but it wasn't rushed, and I really liked it. I was like, yes, go, Johnathan, go. um, but yeah, it was so interesting because he would have like these moments of clarity, like in the book, being like, oh, now Angel, like how you were saying, Cass, like now Angel's gonna find out the truth. And that's the thing, like about psychosis and like having mental illness like that, is like sometimes you do have these moments of clarity, and you do come out of psychosis, and you come out of delusions for the most part, especially if you're medicated. And it's just really interesting how he would reflect on that, and how mean to himself he would be. He would just be so like mean to himself, like like almost like this that underlying self-loathing. I was just like, no, it's okay, it's okay, buddy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just very, very interesting. I really, really liked it. Um, I love an unreliable narrator. But yeah, okay, wait, what was the other part of the question? I forgot. I was so busy listening.
When did you start to doubt him?
At the beginning, probably like maybe the second time he started like talking to Angel about it. I was like, I don't know about that. I've had a lot of people on geriatric psych tell me the similar things, sir. Especially like with the war stuff. Because it was too close. Like he was talking about the war, and how he was at the same place that Gladys's ex-husband was at, and I was like, oh, so we're using these stories. You're telling this, and your delusions are warped in your own reality, kind of thing, which was cool. Because that's kind of very like true to the word, you know? That's true. That's how it works. That's usually how delusions work. Is like they're rooted in some sort of like reality that you have.
Mm.
Um,
So, yeah, no, another like two-part question that this leads into.
mm,
Eugene has supposedly lived multiple past lives, but he talks about medieval Spain and being Oscar Wilde's cat most explicitly. So why do you think he does that? Do these stories serve a greater purpose in his current life? And could his stories be a side effect of trauma? And part two, because we kind of touched on that a little bit too, is he tells made up stories from the current life that he's living as well. And why do you think he does that? It's not just his past lives, because his war stories come from his current Eugene life, but they're not real. So why is he making up stories in his current life too? Or in his age, that he made up his age too. Not that he made, I don't know, it's fabricated, but also he believes it
mm-hmm.
because it's a delusion. Uh so yeah. What purpose are his stories telling, and why is he telling fibs as his life is Eugene as well?
I think that because I don't think his past lives are real. I feel like his different eras are like, for example, Spain. It's like his dad is the bad guy that puts him in there, right? And then um his mom could also be Gaia because his
Mm.
mom still kind of loves him, but she keeps her distance. Like his whenever he talks about Spain, he only really sees Gaia a few times, and every time she's pretty reserved. Like she doesn't really open up to him. Like she might help him out here and there, but she doesn't really put forth an effort to engage with him. Like he's always the one kind of. So I think of Spain as like his time being in the cellar, and like uh I think his name is Rahid. Um is his dad, and then Gaia is his mom. And it's like cuz I think he kind of, I don't think it's said, but I feel like I think it is said that she was afraid, like his mom was afraid of his
Yeah.
dad, and that's why she didn't really like intervene when he was abusing him and things like that. And I feel like when he talks about being a cat, I think that's how he views relationships. It's like, oh, like I'm not really a person to anyone. Like I'm kind of like people love me like they love a pet, you know? It's
Mm.
like same with Gladys. It's like he really loves her, but she's kind of like, again, not really reciprocating it in the same way, and he's just like dying for her attention, like same how he was saying how he used to do with Oscar as a cat, be like, oh, like he never loved me the same way, but it would just feel amazing when he pet me, or it felt amazing when he picked me up.
Any
It
kind
wasn't
of
often.
attention.
Mm-hmm. So
He's
I
shouting
feel
across the room, I love you. And Gaia's going, yeah, I heard you.
yes. Or yeah, and then same like, when Oscar got another cat, it's kind of like, oh, Gladys moved on and had a family with someone else. And it's like,
Mm.
you know, I feel like his, and right, we don't know when he remembered his past lives too. It's like he doesn't really, it's like, I think it's assumed at the beginning that he remembers them from the beginning, but it's like
Hmm.
I'm kind of questioning, like, as he goes through his life, he kind of picks up these other lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like, and that's probably why too. But in the real world, Eugene, it's like he's had such a struggle to relate to people, and that's why he lies about his life. It's like, oh, Angel wants to talk to me. I need to sound normal, or I
Mm.
want to tell him about, like, I want to keep this relationship. How can I make my life interesting to talk about? And
And
it's like
that's what he's, yeah,
sorry.
that's what he's, no, you were doing talking. Uh, he was the one, he told stories from the beginning, um, to, because he realized that it like impressed people or caught their attention, even if it was in a
Hmm.
negative way, he still got it when he otherwise didn't really.
Hmm. Yeah. That's how. And then I feel like he
Hmm.
would get lost in the weeds, like, right, telling war stories, and he's like, oh, well, then that's Glass's husband. But I didn't see him. Like, I feel like he kind of would get lost in the weeds when he was talking about Eugene life,
Yeah.
like, especially closer to, like, his age. But, yes.
Because then there was the history teacher one too, that he said he was a history teacher,
Oh, yeah.
previously, like before retiring and moving into where he's at now. Uh, but he was not a history teacher either.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hadn't thought about the like comparing his mother to Gaia to be like maybe that was the attention he was seeking
Hmm.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Kylie?
I'm thinking. That was a really good answer.
Oh, thank you.
Um, for me, I don't view any of these as lies. Like I genuinely don't think he made up any of them intentionally. I really don't. I think he believes them
True.
wholeheartedly. Um, so I don't think he's like for that's because I agree with like what Ashley's saying, but in the context of I think his brain is doing that unknowingly to him. And I
Mhm.
think like talking with it through. So from my like the way I interpreted it is like he's talking it through, kind of almost like therapy to like break down, like with Angel he like says it in like small chunks, and Angel questions him, but he like Angel for the most part asks like open-ended questions or asks like pointed questions towards like inconsistencies, which I think helps ground him to be like, and I think we see like this unraveling because he is coming to terms with, I have delusions, like, and but and I have false memories. I think it's very important to like know that people with delusions usually do have false memories. So like being a history teacher and like meeting Gladys for the first time on a date because he was a history teacher and he got set up on a blind date, which is so different from the truth because she's idealized. Like this
Mm-hmm.
Gladys is an idealized version of, he idealizes her, right? So
Mhm.
I think it's like his brain creates these false memories because he wants to combat that idealism and he wants to like meet that standard of how high he holds her. Um, and I think when he's talking with Lloyd and with Angel, like they kind of really question him on it, and it gives him that moment of clarity to come out of that delusion. Um, and I really do think like we're seeing that progression, and I don't think his like he's doing it to, because like the war is,
Right.
he's making up this false memory that he was in the war, and I speak from like experience because I also struggle with false memories from a different thing, but I struggle with false memories, and one thing with false memories is the thing you have to tell yourself in therapy. You have to tell yourself it could be true or it could not be, and that's kind of
Mm.
just like you have to let it be. Like you could question yourself and be like, "Well, did this happen? I don't know. Like, can I trust
Right.
myself?" And you start to self-doubt yourself, like we see him do in this book. Like everyone doubts me and I'm doubting myself, and did I really, like, I don't know. And it's like it's okay to just let it be and not put that pressure on yourself also. Um and so that's kind of the take I also took from this book. It's like it's okay to for it to be true or not be true.
Mhm. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Angel kind of does that too, where like remember he learns the truth and he's like, I still. It's like he almost was like, I don't. It was almost like he was validating him, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're crazy, and he's like, I don't. Like he didn't say like, no, I think you lived those past lives. Like, no, they're crazy. But he was like, I. But I can't remember exactly what he said, but I think he put it perfectly, where he's like, I don't believe you, but I don't think you're crazy, basically. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, I think, right, like you said, it helped ground him and be like, you can still talk to me. Like, I still want to have this relationship with you, and you're still important to me, like, regardless of what your past says or what, you know, like, so what your stories may not be true. Like, I still enjoy your stories and I still want to talk to you. And I think that really changed Eugene in a really positive way.
Yeah.
And
And he didn't like he didn't give it too much weight. You know, like they'd go and talk, they'd have their lunch, and he'd listen to Eugene's stories and be like, "Yeah, cool, homie. Like anyway, so I need some life advice now." He's like, "Yeah, the cool story." And he didn't like feed into it too much in a way that it like completely took Eugene out of the real world. He was also like, "Hey, buddy, I need you to be my like relationship counselor right now."
Yeah.
And I will to add to what you were both saying. I think the difference is that he saw him as a person and not his delusions. He
Hmm.
saw Eugene as who he was, and that's why he did ask for like life advice from this person, because he's like, oh, delusions or not, I still find value in your opinion and I find value in you as a person. And I think that's really like what helped with that whole thing as well.
Yeah.
Hmm. Let's talk about Angel and Eugene and their relationship and how it forms and changes. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? How do they help each other?
I love their relationship. Like anytime Angel talks, I'm like, ha, like it's Angel. You know, I think he also reminds me of like, because I used to work in I mean, we've all worked with older adults, but it's like, I just have a really, like, I like people like Angel where it's, because I've worked in dementia care and it's like, I've seen people be like, oh yeah, like same thing, like not feeding into delusions, but just being like, you're not like being listening and a listening ear. And then I've seen people be like, you're crazy. Like,
Hmm.
that doesn't make any sense. And then the person just feels like crap. And it's just kind of like, thank goodness, a good soul, just to listen, just to, you know, be kind.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I was thinking about like what you had said about like dementia care and stuff and just jumping into their reality and not like feeding into it too hard, but not trying to bring them into your reality or like the
mhm,
reality that is they're living in right now and just being like, yeah, all
mhm,
right, it's your wedding day. That's so exciting.
mhm, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Because like why cause the additional turmoil?
right. Or you hear like, we learn things about their past, and it's one of those things where you're like, that's good to know, but at the same time, like, at this point, like, I'm not going to change how I interact with them because
Mm,
this is where they are now, you know?
yeah.
And it's like, um, like, this is kind of sad, but there are some cases where, like, maybe before their diagnosis, they were not very nice, or they were, maybe not that close to their family, and it's like, as they regress, they just kind of are just like a sweet old person. They're like, I like this. And some people might be like, oh, I don't understand why, their kids wouldn't want to come visit them, or I don't understand why this, and that. Like, they're so nice. And it's like, you also need to give space for them because it's like, person that we know now is completely different than the person that they were before. And it's like, not to, and I think that kind of is same with Eugene. It's like, Lloyd kind of had this weird relationship with him, and he's like, I hate him, and blah blah blah, and then you learn like why, and it's kind of you, because I remember being like, oh yeah, get this Lloyd guy out of here, like he's so
Hmm.
annoying, like why can't he just leave him alone, why is he asking him all these questions, and then you learn about him and you're like, oh, that makes sense now, I don't feel that way about Lloyd anymore. um you know
Yeah.
but then same Angel, like he learned all this information about him, but he's still like, yeah, but this is my lunch buddy. Like this is the Eugene I know. And so, yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
that makes sense. I don't know if I got lost in the weeds there, but
Nah, I got you.
I love their relationship. I just love it. I think it's just really sweet, and I think it's endearing, and I think he's the first stable person to be in his life after a really long time, and I just thought it was really
Mhm.
heartwarming and touching to just let him have someone so amazing at the end of his life, because I think we all deserve that as like just
Mhm.
at any point in our life just to have someone who cares about us so deeply. And I mean, he introduced his like fiance to him and like wanted him to be in his wedding, and it was just like just really amazing. And I'm just really happy that that happened, because I was worried that their relationship was going to go downhill. um and part of this is why I did not like Flowers for Algernon, again, in my comparison brain right now. Because that book, for example, felt like torture porn, and it felt terrible because he had no friends ever. There was no relationship, no like, no friends, no nothing. Everyone just used him and just like it was horrible. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy this person has a friend and so happy he has a meaningful relationship now. Even if it is at the end of his life, like he gets to feel so loved and respected and just felt so seen by someone. Um, and then he introduces like his fiance and they are just she is just also just so honored to meet him and just like he just felt so much love and he just kept saying like at the end of the book like his heart is so full, his body's dying but his heart is so full, and I that's how I want my life to be at the end. I want my heart to be so full even if I feel like I'm dying, you know. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, that was just favorite part of the book, just enjoyed it so much.
He's
Yeah.
the guardian angel.
I was wondering if someone was gonna make that joke. I was like, someone might make
It
it.
was too spot on. It was too spot on. The naming.
My angel.
No, I think he was just like a good like representative of a health. He wasn't even a healthcare worker. He was the custodian, but the fact that he still went out of his way um to make people there feel comfortable. I think he just sets a good example.
Yeah.
Be more like Angel. Okay, so the other relationship that he has throughout this book with his psychologist, Lloyd. Opinions on that? Was he an ethical psychologist?
So this
No.
is not his fake one. This is the
This
person.
is the one from the retirement facility that he's living at,
Okay.
who always with his little lifesaver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Ash. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, no, you didn't. You go ahead.
Okay. I know he's not ethical. I know this. There's a lot of unethical things happening in this book. Um, but I
Okay. Free and clear if you guys want
I
to
don't
use it.
know.
Okay.
I guess
And
I just like. Oh, hold on.
I thought I could share the
I
roasted
can't think.
potatoes with you too. Then I bought some salt that you guys can use, and if you want to use that, olive oil. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Um. Okay, now I gotta think of what was. Oh yes. I definitely think he's unethical, but I really liked his character. He was morally gray, and I love a morally gray character. I think he is just a grandkid trying to learn why this guy abandoned his mom, and
Mm.
I can really like I understand that, you know, like that type of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy's like dying, and he's refusing to talk to you, and it's just like yeah, I understand. Do I agree with his choice of fucking doing that and being like, I'm just trying to see how it's going. You still delusional? Okay. I have a secret agenda. Like, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
I understand why he had to do that because again, when you're dealing with someone who is delusional, you can't just throw that you can't just throw them into your reality like we were saying. So I get it. Um, I don't fully agree with it, but I get it, and I really enjoyed his character, and I think that his character um, was used a lot to like show don't tell about certain aspects from Eugene. Um, that was so to me he like wasn't just a psychologist, but he also was like, and not just his grandkid, but he also was kind of a way for us to kind of really get to know Eugene because like there were things that Lloyd did that annoyed him, like the lightsaber, but we know later that he didn't like that because whenever his father like sucked on a candy, he knew he was gonna get beat. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so like there was stuff like that throughout the book about Lloyd's character that was used in positive and negative ways to like get to know Eugene better as well. And the book does really well about that. Um, so I don't know. I just like yes, he's unethical, but I also like him.
Mm.
That's my opinion. And I'm sticking to it.
Very good. Nah, it was when he was like, I heard when you learned that he'd learned about his case. Lloyd learned about Eugene's case in school and was like, I'm gonna get a job there. But I was like, buddy, who wrote your recommendation letter? Because like, that was a little dubious. I don't think he didn't have any malintentions, obviously, but he had done it for like his own personal like satisfaction, and he does. I think in a way he cares about helping Eugene, um, but he wanted Eugene to tell the truth for his own sake, to get like to feel gratified and like I know this happened and you're just out here living a life um without admitting it when I'm mad at you for it. And so he wants the truth from Eugene to like validate his life and the way he feels about it.
Yeah.
Ashley.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Also, I want to apologize. I thought I muted myself earlier. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Um,
Don't worry about it.
yeah, because when I got my headphones back on, and you're like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, no." Um, I'm sorry. What were we?
What do you think about Lloyd, the psychologist?
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. Ethics, right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I'm curious if. Well, I guess because he is working there, so yes, I think it's unethical. I think it would be different if he, like, just came to visit. I don't know. Like if he knew he was there, it would be like one thing if he just got a job in that same town and he would just come and visit and he would, be like, "Hey, I'm just here to visit this guy." Like, I don't know. But at the same time, it's like that would be really easy for um them to be like, "Hey, he does not want to see you. Like, you need to leave." But I don't know. I agree with what y'all said too, where it's like I think he was kind of necessary for like grounding Eugene, um, and just kind of being like, I don't know. Yeah, I agreed with what you guys said.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, he never like pushed him to tell the truth until
Hmm.
the end. I feel like when it had gotten to that tipping point, then he was like, "No, Eugene, I know the truth, and you're not telling it to me." And then it all comes spilling
Yeah,
out. But up until
yeah,
then, he doesn't really push it. He's just like, "Nah, buddy, you're actually 96, and this is what happened. But have a good day. See you later."
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a little instigator.
A little bit.
Hmm.
A little bit. But I like it. I like the little villain in him. He's like, nah, I'm mad at you. I'm a little villain, but I'm not. But I am. Like
Just a
Batman.
little bit.
Batman's a little
Just
bit
a
of a
little
villain, but he turns out good in the end, you know?
Hmm. Well, those are all of my like content related questions. So then on to our fun
Oh,
questions.
wait. I have a content related question then.
You have
bit.
a content
Something I.
related question?
Yeah, we never talked about Gladys.
Oh, that I have that question as like Gaia because he thinks Gladys is Gaia,
Oh.
but we had kind of like we started on it and then we moved on to a different topic, so I skipped past it. But who is Gaia? What does she represent to Eugene? Who are the different forms of Gaia? And then obviously Gladys's form of Gaia. She was on her own mental journey.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's a nice way to put it.
Hmm.
Hmm. Ashley, do you want to go first or me?
You can go first.
All right, good. I'm locked and loaded. Fucking
Oh,
locked and loaded.
oh.
I'm gonna be so for real. I don't really care about Gaia. I as a separate character from Gladys. She's all right. She's resistance, powerful woman, great, sure. Um, you know, strong woman, love it. The person I have an issue with is Gladys. And I know Oscar's another form, Oscar Wilde, whatever. Great. That's fine. That's fine. I think Gladys is a fucking predator, and I fucking hate her. I think she's the worst, and I hope she had a horrible death. I hope she got kicked in the face as an old lady and was left in the street because that was fucked up. You mean to tell me she is so unethical? First of all, worked in the place that he was a resident in. He idealized her because he's like, "Oh, you're Gaia. You have the same mole," and instead of being like, "No," which she did at first, but not very well, because then she started to entertain it at a point. They started becoming kiki ha ha close. No, because you know what? You know what we do? If someone starts to idealize you, we go, okay, are they inappropriate? Which he would have been inappropriate, and we'd be like, yes, okay, you're not working with him anymore. You're not on the floor. Or if you do have to be on the floor, you need to approach in pairs, things like that. And I understand it was way back in the day, whatever, it doesn't matter. The thing is that she should have been like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. That's no. Because ultimately she took advantage of him and had sex with him in a seedy, gross motel room, and then abandoned him. Just used him and threw him out, and then would pop in every once in a and then he touched base with her after she won the show or whatever, and then they went to dinner or whatever. And again, why are you entertaining that? And then again, came back into his life just to be like, I'm dying. Peace out, Girl Scout. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck. I'm about to crash the fuck out because I hate that bitch. I think she's the worst. And she's the true villain. Besides his family, she's the other villain of this fucking story. And she's the worst. And again, I think I have a very visceral reaction because I also read Flowers for Algernon, and this also had a character like this in it. But it was way worse. But I was like, ah! Made me mad. Anyway, it's fine. I just have very strong feelings about this. And I was upset about it every time we started talking about Glad. And no one was like, wow, that's fucked up that she did that to you. No, we're just like, oh, well, she's dead now. I'm glad you found your Gaia. No. Wrong. So I think that Angel is his Gaia in this world and not Gladys, despite the mole, because I think Angel showed him true love. I think he's the real Gaia of the story. That's what I'm gonna say. His real love, and that's what I'm gonna stick with. Because I'm gonna crash out if I talk about it anymore. And that's my opinion. Oscar Wilde and out, exactly.
Heard.
Yeah, just to also piggyback off of what you're saying too, I think she's also the only character that fed into his delusions. Like, she was like, oh yeah, like that doctor just won't leave you alone. Like, gosh, I like talking to you way better. Like, she really, like, to me, like, as we learn more about Gladys, it's kind of like, oh, this is funny to you. Like, he's amusing to you. Like, you don't actually care about this person. Like, you think this is amusing and funny, and like, right, you're having your own kind of mental crisis, and you're like, oh, well, I can just emotionally baggage on this guy and it won't matter because he's crazy. Like, that's what I was getting from her, which I agree that she is the villain.
And there was that like brief conversation where she's like, yeah, I had this flashback, this memory of I was looking at a person, and he was like, yes, that's the story I've been telling you. You know it. You're coming back to Gaia, and you see your past life too. And then she's like, yeah, but no.
Then why would you say that to him?
Yeah. Then I'm like, do you really believe this? Or are you just saying this to like appease
him
him
up.
or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that pissed me off too.
Mm-mm.
That pissed me off
Mm-mm.
so bad. I was like, why the fuck would you say that? Why the fuck would you say that, you stupid bitch? Oh, I don't call women bitches, but I'll call that woman a bitch. She's fake,
Mhm.
so it's fine. She's fake. It's fine. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was so mad. Every time she would pop on screen, pop on the screen, pop up in text, I'd be like, "Oh, this fucking asshole is back. Is she gonna get beat up? No. Great. Anyway, anyway, I agree with you about the feeding delusions thing. It pissed me off. It's like, why
Yeah.
would you say that? Ah!
And also, kind of same thing when Lloyd was like, "Why did you abandon?" And it's like Gladys was trying to erase him. Like he didn't even know about, you know. And I think too, like I liked how Lloyd kind of softened after he learned like he genuinely didn't know, and I thought it was satisfying that he kind of softened a little bit and was like, okay, my grandma like used him basically. Um, maybe he didn't come to that conclusion, but he was like, okay, like she did not tell him the truth, and
Hmm.
he's not who I thought he was. Um, yeah, just also yeah, and then like I don't know, like also the whole scene where he like that guy kind of harassed Gladys and Eugene beat him up. It's like, yeah, what did you think? He was in a mental hospital. Like, what were you thinking? I don't know.
Mm.
So it's like another like just kind of Gladys being really ignorant and like, oh, I don't care. I'm just feeling sad and I just want to be validated. So I'm going to do whatever I want. And oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. He still needs help. I'm going to
Hmm.
ghost him now. And it's like, no.
And another added layer to that predatory behavior is that she met him when he was a teenager and then waited until
Right.
he was 18 to quit her job and then immediately started taking him on dates
Hmm.
for companionship. And I was like, you are a fucking sleazeball. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I think that's also just an interesting comment to like we normally don't see women as predatory, you know? And
Mm.
it's like, yeah, because that's exactly what that was. Like, if if it was roles reversed, like we would have picked. I feel like I didn't really pick it up until you said it, but it's like I feel like if the roles reversed, I would have picked that up immediately. I've been like, he's a predator. He's taking advantage of her. But it's like it's a for me, it was
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's not really pushed like women predator like that or in a sense of like that like I've heard a lot of like maybe someone like taking advantage of other little girls like to other people if that makes sense
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know I feel like I'm rambling.
No, and I think also to add to your point, that's also added to the unreliable narrator of
Hmm.
like he doesn't see himself as a victim or as a survivor of abuse. He sees himself in a very different way, and he's presenting himself in a different way. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think like the whole time, like it makes sense that you wouldn't pick up on it from a societal standpoint and also from his standpoint because he's like, she's amazing. I love her. You know,
Hmm.
like the fact that he's like a teenager when he meets her like doesn't even register to him.
Hmm.
You know, so
Because in his mind, he's like thousands of years old. It's like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Mm.
Ah, okay, on to
Hey.
All
fun
right, all
fun
right.
questions.
Um, I was gonna ask the favorite character question, but I feel like there are so few characters that it's
Oh, I
like
have a favorite character.
weird to pick. I mean, like I feel like the obvious answer is Angel.
Yeah.
Um, and his fiance was nice too. I liked her little thing at the end that she just was like, "I've heard so many stories about you. You're such a cool person." Thanks for being so good to my angel. But yeah, so we're gonna lump those in because I feel like I don't have a lot of opinions on the characters, but maybe you guys do. So favorite characters.
Yeah, it's Angel.
We're just gonna go with Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Solid.
Full stop. Full stop. Just Angel.
So what's our other fun question? Soundtrack. What would the soundtrack to this book be?
Gosh, I'm never prepared for this question.
But then you always have a good answer.
And now it's like pressure.
I kind of think it just depends on what time period we're in. I think that would work. Like if we're in like Mesopotamia or whatever the fuck that was. Have like bard music. I don't fucking know. And then like Oscar Wilde when we're like a cat. Maybe we just have cats singing. Meow 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 meow. Literally, that's it. And then when we're in the old person hospital, we just have like oldies playing. Old person hospital, a nursing home. Jesus Christ.
The old person hospital. Sorry, sir. You're gonna have to go to the old person hospital. This is the young person's hospital. No good.
That's my opinion. That's all I got.
Wow.
I like it. That makes sense to me.
Thank you.
And it's gonna have like then you need like the life is a highway when Angel took him on his little trip to LA.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. So cute.
I'm just imagining his like lack of hair blowing in the wind and so beautiful.
Oh,
perfect.
What's that one song where it was a cat that sounded like he was going hello? And they turned it into a little song. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh my god,
yes.
No.
Yes.
There's a client at the place that I work where she'll sing that song, like the whole meow part and everything. It's incredible.
It's like sometimes I'm alone, sometimes
and she goes,
I'm not.
And she literally sings the whole meow 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 meow, and it's amazing. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. She's like transported. As soon as the song comes on, she's like she is the cat. It's amazing.
That's amazing. Pete also in the chat said, "What was I made for?" The Meow Edition.
What was that? That's perfect.
Meow, meow,
it's just
meow.
Existential enough.
Oh yeah.
That's what happens when Oscar gets his second cat, and then
God.
Eugene's like, oh, "Who even am I if I'm not your cat?"
Oh my god, that's perfect.
Time to go live another life.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I love it. Those are our two fun questions, aren't they? Favorite character and soundtrack.
We also have the movie question of who you would cast.
Oh. Ooh, why are the lights?
I'm very bad with like actors' names.
Yeah, I don't know people's names. I can't like off the top of my head just be like, yeah, so and so for this, so and so for that.
I feel like Tom Cruise. Not Tom Cruise. Gosh. No. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
I hate that motherfucker.
He played Ove or whatever they made his name for the Americanized version of the Otto. God,
that's why
he's fucking Swedish. He's fucking Swedish. Why do we have to make it American?
I hate that man. So I didn't.
Why?
That's a different day. We don't gotta get into
Jim Carrey plays everyone. I like Jim Carrey plays every version of Eugene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except like there's no like change either. There's no like setting change. They don't CGI him into a cat. They don't make him look like a young boy in medieval Spain. He's so expressive that he just does it. You just know. Right now he's Spain. Now he's cat. Now he's old man. It's all like
Yes.
it's all recorded in one take, and it's just Jim Carrey method
Um,
acting.
Okay, wait. I have a for old Eugene. Hear me out. Harrison Ford. He'd be
mm,
perfect. Have you seen
What does
Harrison
that
he would
Ford
be really
now?
what does
good.
that man look
Yes.
like? Nope.
He
Yeah.
Harrison Ford plays in Indiana Jones. He's the main character, but he's in his 80s now, and he is playing all these older characters now, and I think he'd be perfect. He'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And then
2025.
for Angel, I would say, oh, I said his name earlier. The guy from Stranger Things, who's the pizza guy, Ed
With the
Wardo.
long hair?
Yeah, what's his fucking name?
I have
Um,
no idea.
oh my god,
No, you'd be good.
Eduardo Franco. Eduardo Franco, I think would be a great pick.
I imagined Michael. I'm gonna say his name wrong. Michael Pena. It's the N with the little squiggle on top, and I forgot how you pronounce
And
that.
yeah, you do like a nya, like
Oh,
Nia,
Michael Pena.
Pena.
I think it would be. I pictured him younger, but I could see that
Yeah.
also.
Mhm.
I could see that also. Ooh, good pick.
And then there was someone who I was thinking of.
Gladys can just be a trash bag.
Eugene. Yeah, she could just be. Oh, Gladys could be. Hold on, the girl from Big Bang Theory, the blonde girl.
Oh my god. What do you got
Yeah.
against her?
I don't know.
Why would you wish that evil on her?
Because I think no, not the Kelly Kuko who played Penny.
Yeah, what do you got against her? You hate
Nothing.
her?
I'm just
She's
saying. I think
she's
she could
just a
do it.
blonde girl.
Yeah,
I know, but why would we give her an evil role like that? You know what I mean?
because I think she can do it.
Who's evil? Who's evil? Oh, what's her face that played the evil queen? Who's also the worst? Gal Gadot.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, or no. Hold on. The girl who played I Care a Lot. Oh, what's her name? Oh, Rosamund Pike. She would be Gladys.
Oh, Rosamund Pike actually would be a good fit for that.
Because she also played in Gone Girl. Have you guys seen that movie Gone Girl?
Yeah,
No.
It's crazy.
it's fantastic book
And
as
she's
well.
crazy. Yeah, she would be Gladys.
Mm, mm, mm. I could see that. I could see that.
And then Uric, was thinking either gosh, it's like I can see their face, I just can't like see what their name is.
I would also be down for like some some unknown actors too. Like throw those
Ruin the
Mhm.
career right off the bat.
I think that would be good. I think they need to start doing that more. Like pull out some big heavy hitters, like the person you said, Ash,
Yeah.
and like Harrison Ford, and then like throw some unknown people in there.
And then
Mhm.
quit doing stacked casts.
Yeah, no need.
Yeah.
Throw like one big headliner in there to get people in the movie, and then bang it out with some awesome. No, that sounds bad. You know, release it with
That's
some.
what Gladys did.
Release it. Release it with some unknown amazing talent. I think will be great.
Hmm.
Mhm. I think that'd be good.
All right. Any more fun questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Before we conclude, any other thoughts? No.
I feel like I had
No.
one. Oh, I wanted to say at the end,
Mm-hmm.
I think what also kind of solidified like that he kind of made up his lives is that he kind of made up his next life already, and he was gonna be Angel's son. Like he had
Oh, I did not get that.
really? You don't remember? He had a dream that he was on a farm, kind of, or like on a big land, and he was a little Hispanic boy, and um he didn't recognize the people. Like I don't think in the dream he couldn't really see them, but he just like he's like, this is the first time I felt immense love from my parents or from anyone really. And I think he was kind of creating this reality where he would be Angel's son.
Aww.
Yeah, because there's that whole thing where he was when he met Angel's fiance was like, this child is gonna be so loved and they're so lucky. Like, I wish I could have known something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
Yeah. So I thought that was sweet.
I agree with that. That's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, if that's the last thing, that concludes book club for today. Woo!
Woo! Woo!
Fuck, I looked up the wrong one. No.
Really?
I know. I'm trying to. Okay, so for August, we're in August. At the end of this month, I don't know what date that is. I don't fucking know. The end of this month, last Friday of the month, whatever. We're gonna be reading On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. We're gonna be talking about it by Ocean Vuong. Who, yeah. Before you read this book, make sure you look up the trigger warnings. Just want to say that. But I'll read a little synopsis because I keep forgetting to do that at the end, where we talk about the book we're gonna read next time. So this book is, what is it? Is it fiction? Yeah, it's a fiction book. And it's called On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read. Written when the speaker, Little Dog, is in his late 20s, the letter unearths a family history that began before he was born. A history whose epicenter is rooted in Vietnam and serves as a doorway into parts of his life his mother has never known, all of it leading to an unforgettable revelation. At once a witness to the fraught yet undeniable love between a single mother and her son, it is also a brutally honest exploration of race, class, and masculinity, asking questions central to our American moment, immersed as we are in addiction, violence, and trauma, but under... I don't know what the fuck that word is. I don't fucking know how to say that. Anyway, that's not a real word. By compassion and tenderness. On Earth, We Are Briefly Gorgeous is as much about the power of telling one's own story as it is about obliterating silence of not being heard. There you go. So if that sounds like your jam, read it for August. It's actually pretty short, so shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad of a read if you want to join. And then the book after that is Cloud Cuckoo Land. So there you go. Any last thoughts, gang?
Nope.
No, ma'am.
Perfect. I'm gonna go on a BRB. Everyone say bye to Ash and Case.
Bye.
Bye. And we'll see you guys next month. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.